What? We're starting now. Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Mark. I am your host, and today on the show, I've got two guests. We've got Whitney and Hannah. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Ladies, I brought you a present.
Some cool music.
You looked at me all sarcastic.
Oh no,
yes,
that's serious.
It's some cool music. Get the funk on, boys.
Yeah, funk.
Kick it. The recovery band and studio audience.
Oh God. They love us.
They do.
They're fans already.
So this is part one of a 3-part relationship series, and I figured I'd interview you two ladies because you are best friends in recovery.
This is true.
You say
We're
that
best
like
friends
with a
in
question
life.
mark at the end, but you know.
We're
you
best friends in life.
Yeah, we're best friends
And
in
that
life.
in our life is recovery. So,
And both of you, okay, all right.
so yes.
So let's start with time. Whitney, how much time do you have in recovery?
I have 6 months and
She has
some days.
Yeah.
6 months and some days.
Some days.
Congratulations.
Good job.
And Hannah?
I'm a little over 14 months.
Yeah, good job. Yay. So how did you two meet?
Do you want me to start this one off? And
Yeah,
you
it's a
finish
really
it?
cute story.
So I went to a meeting and I saw Whitney, and she came in this like amazing outfit. She has great style. She had like leather pants on and this shirt, and she has this cool blue hair. And I went up to her after the meeting, and we didn't like speak the entire time, though I ended up sharing something that she related to, and I found that out later on. But I went up to her and I was like, "You're gonna be my friend, and I want your phone number because we're gonna be best friends." And
You voluntold her into this?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it was my first, I literally went up to her, I said, "Hi, I'm Hannah, and you're going to be my friend." And so she gave me her number, and I was so excited. And so I like texted her a couple times, and nothing, straight ghost. She didn't say anything to me. So I was like, oh, shoot, I guess we're not going to
I
be
was like,
friends.
that's pretty par for the course
Yeah.
for me. So.
Yeah. So I was like, that's, whatever it is, what it is, And then I didn't see her for a while because this was the other fellowship, and I started going to AA, and then I'm at the candlelight meeting, and I'm sitting there, and she comes walking in, and I was like, oh my gosh, there she is, like this one. And you want to continue?
So then I sat down, and I was really, at this point in time, I was about 2 months sober, and I had been beating my head against a wall. Like, I had time before, and I had significant time before a few different times, and that's like, those are stories unto themselves. But what I was really struggling with was I had reference points, right, to what recovery could be like, and I could not feel God. I had fried myself out, and I felt like I was like in a hermetic bubble, and I was like, I was just struggling. And I knew that I needed something different. It started 18 years ago, my journey in AA. I decided to come back around, and it was one of the I think it was like one of the first AA meetings I came back to. And I walked in, and I sat down. It was a candlelight meeting, so it was in the dark. And I sat down, and this girl's like, I recognized her, and it was the girl from the meeting that said that we were going to be great friends, and
I'm sitting behind her,
on me.
and I'm sitting behind her, which is creepy enough.
But it was great. No, I could feel the warmth, and we kind of said, I said, I really need something different. I'm really like at this place where I'm in a seeking, searching mode for everything right now, spirituality. And I am on this like seeking God thing, and I'm finding it slowly. And then the lights went off, and she whispered in my ear, really super creepy, but I liked it. She goes, "There's a meeting you have to go to. It's in the morning. It's at 7:00. It's my home group. She told me where it was. Show up tomorrow." And I was like, this is either like the voice, like a conduit of God, like, or like the creepiest girl ever, but I'm listening to things today. So I was taking anything I could get, and I showed up the next
Which
day.
I was shocked because I've done that creepy statement to many people, and no one has shown up.
I wonder why.
Well, why does your impersonation of her sound like the Waffle House waitress at like 3 a.m.? Like,
she
hey,
can do that.
Have you not heard my voice?
No, it really is. It was really like this. It was a creepy whisper, and I was like, this. She's taking risks, and I like it.
Yeah. And then she showed up at 7, and the meeting's at 7 a.m., so it's an early meeting, and I've said it to many people, but it has really changed my recovery and my spirituality. And there she was at 7 a.m., and I was like, oh my gosh.
At the sunrise, right?
At the sunrise meeting,
now, that's what you do is the sunrise. Like, that's your home group,
That's
right?
my home group, yeah.
Why do you like the 7 a.m. meeting?
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. First, it's the best way to start the day. When I leave that meeting, like the hope and the energy, and I like feel the Holy Spirit like at that meeting, and it's everywhere from 5 days to 50 years of time. You get the whole deal. And it's just like people are just spiritually fit there. I mean, you just get hit over and over and over in every angle, and I don't know, it just gives me like that experience, strength, and hope, that strength, the hope that I get leaving that meeting. I mean,
it's crazy.
It has changed my life.
Yeah.
It really has, and my recovery. And I think that meeting too, that day that she showed up, was like a great one. And she came up to me, she's like, this is what I've been searching for.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, it was like mic drop after mic drop. And I was like, this is it.
And it's AA like encompassed in a meeting. It's all the walks of life, and it's all different stories, and it's at 7 a.m. and it's 7 days a week, and like that's crazy. And so people go 7 days a week at 7 in the morning, and like I feel different when I don't start my day with that meeting. When I start with my day with that meeting, I feel good, I feel strong. And like I know someone shared once that like night meetings, which I love night meetings too, and I need them, but a lot of times night meetings you went on with your day, and like stuff has happened, and you're kind of getting it all out, where in the morning it's like a new day. It's like a fresh start, and like people, that's the mentality there. It's just like this hope in the morning. It's not like, oh, my day was hard and this was hard. It was like, man, it's the solution.
It's the solution. I feel a lot of clean recovery there, and I feel a lot of and I've said this before to some of the members of that home group. I've said, personality, principles before personalities, but certainly we all have our preferences, and the makeup of a group, the personalities that make up a group, depending on who you are, like they can drive home the principles to you, that whatever language you're speaking. Yeah. So it's like it's like a rainbow of fruit flavors. It's like every personality like seems to really, for me, have like a perspective. It hits, and
it does. And guess who is a member of that home group too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you're doing it now. You're going
I go every day. Yeah, convert, and so it changed. It really was. So like then I just started going every day, and then we started seeing each other every day, and it was like it was really fast. It was fast friends. It was fast friends, and it was not just. And I'm somebody that I don't have a new best friend. I don't call people my best friend. I don't do that. I don't even. I have this thing that I say, and it's a little cheeky and it's a little bumper sticker. But I'm like, I love everybody. I like barely anyone, but and I just don't make. And certainly I'm not somebody that spends all my time with somebody. No. And I don't have those people that I call multiple times a day. Like I just don't like, I just made a taco. I'm like not that person. I'm not reporting my news to anyone. That's just not who I am. And I have a buddy like that now, and it's really sweet. It's really sweet. I've always had recovery friends, but now it's like, and that's just, and that happened. So it's been a real blessing because, and it's just everything's kind of fit. But yeah, it was a really fast friendship, and it really started because I heard what she was sharing in meetings, and tell them about
Walmart.
Walmart.
Okay.
Tell them about Walmart because this got me. And this was too weird, right? Like there were some things that were just like hit my heart so deeply. Tell them about Walmart.
So I had shared at that first meeting, which a little side note, the reason Whitney didn't text me back is because she got a new number. Just so everybody knows.
Right,
It
right,
wasn't
right.
because she was straight ignoring me. She wanted to be
No,
my
of
friend from the
course.
beginning too. Or at least that's what I tell myself.
Because she's so shiny. Look at that smile. You can't see it because this is a podcast, but it is the smile to end all
It's
smiles.
shining through the audio
It
right now.
must. It must.
Thanks,
It
guys.
must.
Braces.
It takes up half
No,
your
just-
face. Okay.
So embarrassing.
So what's up with Walmart? Are we talking
I
about people
shared-
with people with
No,
Walmart?
No, we're talking about their
Myself.
great prices.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we
No, I'm talking about
aren't.
the misery of Walmart. No. My misery of Walmart. So,
Nope.
I just
coffee,
did that.
guys, coffee.
Just slam the coffee through the table.
No, that first meeting where I met Whit, I was sharing, it was something about like hopelessness was the topic and like, or just darkness and now like how I have hope. And I was telling them how I used to be like happy, joyous, and free, right? And how I never thought I could have that. And that I would sit at Walmart in the parking lot and I would see people walking inside and they would be happy and they would be talking and good. And I would be sitting in my car just dying and miserable. And I would think to myself, that is never going to be me. I'm never going to be somebody who walks in a store and is happy without a substance in my body. Like I needed whatever in my body to function, to live, to survive. And I never thought that I would be someone who could walk into Walmart with a smile on my face or any store, you know? And later on, Whit shared with me, she was like, man, I've had those exact moments.
It was eerie because I had like one of those. I was completely checked out because I was also, dry goods were also an issue for me, and I would be waiting in the parking lot for somebody to come and deliver my, whatever of the day.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can identify with
right. And waiting.
That's why you're in the Walmart parking lot.
Right,
Yeah.
like in the Walmart parking lot.
Miserable.
Right. And probably drinking as well during. And I would be just so checked out. And I remember this one day I had like this moment where like I saw this really happy family and they're like swinging their child, like, and it was just like joy. And I went, oh my God, I am a loser and I will never have that free joy. And it looked just like, it was that juxtaposition of like, and I melted inside. And it was in a Walmart parking lot. She shared that and I was like, oh my gosh. Like it was one of those moments where I'm like, should I even walk up to her and tell her I've had the exact same thing? Because it'll just sound like I'm making that up. Like, oh, me too, in the Walmart. Like okay, weirdo.
Yeah, but instead I walk
I
up,
could
we're
identify
gonna
with
be
the
best
exact
friends.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like, we had the same experience. And these kind of like, and it was just, I know that sounds really cheesy, but there were so many weird little parallels. And and I was like, I really did think that like God was saying, like, this lady's supposed to be your friend. Because I'm, I kind of stand back and like, I'm friendly. I'm a very friendly person, but God just like, it was just pushing me to, and I think, it was just my time to have a real soft place to land in somebody, right?
I think that's like the craziest part. Like I've had friendships, right? Like lifelong friendships. And I've lost these friendships due to alcoholism, due to my choices. And I never thought for like the last good 4 years, I've been sitting here like, I'm never going to have a friend like that again. Like someone who knows me through and through and who has seen me go through like all the traumas I've gone through in all my life.
Yeah.
And what Whit and I have found is she hasn't been there in the sense of a physical sense, seeing me go through all of these things, but she feels those things. She understands those things. She relates to those things. Like we are very different and we grew up very different. Like she was an only child. I had 4 siblings, but the loneliness that we both felt, the uncomfortability, there's things that like, yes, did my friends that I've grown up with they saw me go through all this stuff, but they never understood it. They never understood the pain I felt. They never understood why I drank. They never understood, I'd get why do you do that? You have this great life and you have these beautiful children and you have all these things. Like, why? And then like I talked to Whitney and she just gets it. And I think that's the difference with when you have friends in recovery, they've been there. Like they've been there literally. And it might not be in the same way. It might not be the same situation, but their feelings, like we can relate on this level that I've never been able to relate to with anyone else.
And some of the stuff it's been like we've shared a lot of our history, real specific history. It's just more than I've gone into with a lot of people, and I've had a lot of relationships and stuff, but it's like for some reason, that the level of empathy just goes so deep where like it's a gut punch and like I feel the death rattle and what was it when we were supposed to go and have plans and we had big plans with other people and we just there was one night where we just decided to go to St. Pete and go to some meetings together. Because but we were like, sorry, we're just gonna do this
to do things
together
with all different people.
because we just did we just went through like our history together for 4 hours.
I gave because like we'll talk about trauma. We just read this in the big book. We were just reading right before this podcast.
What page?
132.
Hold on, let's get to
lot.
Oh, we are not a glum lot. Here, hold on. One of you can read. Is it that right there?
Yes.
Yeah. So, did you guys hit the meeting in St. Pete that's on 5th at that big church where it's got its own dedicated AA room?
We were so excited for it, right? And it's smelly because it's in the bottom of the church. I love that.
That room's been there
It smelled like an old library book.
Oh,
it was like
so
really
great.
cool, musty.
Oh, yeah.
And we get there and there's like 3 other people and we're like, oh man.
Yeah,
and
that meeting doesn't draw that much.
Yeah, I mean, they have like meetings throughout the day and we were at the latest one and we're like, man, we just drove up here and we wanted like this big, huge, great meeting. And we go in there and there's literally with us 5 people total.
Yeah,
and
we heard like,
and we were like, it was an amazing meeting.
It was
it's a fire meeting. It's what, 10:30 or 10?
Yeah, it was
10 o'clock.
Yeah, and then we tried to get food, but that's a different story. But no, on page 132, it says, we have been speaking to you of serious, sometimes tragic things. We have been dealing with alcohol in its worst aspect, but we aren't a glum lot. If newcomers could see no joy or fun in our existence, they wouldn't want it. We absolutely insist on enjoying life. So then it goes through, we try not to indulge in cynicism over the state of the nations, nor do we carry the world's troubles on our shoulders. When we see a man sinking into the mirror that is alcoholism, we give him first aid and place what we have at his disposal. For his sake, we do not recount and almost relive the horrors of our past, but those of us who have had tried to shoulder the entire burden and trouble of others find we are soon overcome by them. So we think cheerfulness and laughter make for usefulness. Outsiders are sometimes shocked when we burst into merriment over a seemingly tragic experience of the past. But why shouldn't we laugh? We have recovered and have been given the power to help others. And that is like us. I have said some horrific things.
Let me say, because we were sitting here one night and we're kind of ping-ponging back and forth with a friend of ours. But Hannah was like, my dad actually had this ability too. He was a seasoned alcoholic, and like he died from this disease, unfortunately. But he still kind of mastered like storytelling. But what's beautiful is when you can actually work through your trauma. And and it's like that's what comes with a lot of the freedom with the 4th and 5th is that I experience like emotional detach. Like I can now not have the emotional experience from a lot of the guck, right? The yucky stuff. But so Hannah has some really horrific history, right? And so she's just going into some really bad stuff, but like
laughing.
But Hannah has a gift of storytelling, and it's hilarious, and we're dying laughing. And our friend he has his jaw on the ground, like.
Now, and then at the is end, he in recovery?
He is, but but especially I think because he's a guy and like we're women, and he's like hearing like this, and
like terrible abuse
and stuff, like from her, and like he had like tears in his eyes by the end. He's like, I think you just need a hug.
He's like,
Dude, get over it. We're good.
He's like, I think you just need to cry.
To cry. That's what it
He's
was.
like, you're laughing and covering it. I think you need to cry. I was like, no, man, I have cried so many times.
Yeah, my whole
from this.
life, dude. I'm done crying.
Yeah, like, this is really funny.
Some people take that stuff different, and it's but to be able to find to be able to not be glum over the things in life, and that's huge, especially to have somebody to not be glum with.
And I think
Yeah.
I was for so long, and I mean that's a big reason why I drank, right? Because I could not handle those feelings and those memories and those things, and that's how I coped. And like I don't want to forget those things, but like I can't be controlled and live by that anymore, because that has controlled me. That stuff has controlled my life and my feelings and my emotions and my actions for so long, and I need to like let that go. Now, on the other end though, there are times that we talk about it and it's serious. Like that night we went to St. Pete, we're both crying. She's telling me things about her life. I'm telling her stuff about my life. And we're like sitting here crying, and we're going to go out with other people. And we're like, why are we, like, we just really unpacked a lot of trauma.
What was cool is that, and this is the beautiful thing, like, and this is wow, it's like when you go like, I'm not a self-centered prick anymore, is that I was crying for her pain. For her, like, honestly, this sounds so cheesy, but like I'm thinking about her little girl. And like I was crying for that. It sucked. I wasn't crying about my pain anymore. I'm good. Like that's literally like I'm reporting the news, right? At this point. And I think she was crying for me. It's the crux of empathy. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and like what you were really saying is like, you don't regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Like you don't. I had an ex that was like, I was trying to like be understood, like you were like, hey, let's understand each other. So I tell him some of the stuff that like happened to me in the past or what happened. And he rip off the rear view mirror. And I'm like, well, that's weird, like
he'd tell you to rip off the rear view mirror?
like we're just ripping off the rear view mirror. Like I'm like, well, okay, but I get like, but like we don't have to live in the past, but would you like to know what I was like before today? Maybe that's your issue, right? Like, but it's just, it's such a nice thing that when you can talk about it
and
not regret it, and but like live your life,
Well, it's important. It's important, and just somebody just say like you rip off the roof. It's still there,
right? It's still there. Yeah, that was the problem. That relationship didn't work out.
Was he in recovery?
Oh no.
Well, I've noticed that like if I am talking to somebody in recovery who's really in it, it's better to like. It's nice when somebody just listens and understands instead of having to try to make them understand.
Right.
Like I can say things to people in recovery that I can't say to people who are not in recovery.
Of course.
Yeah.
That level of understanding and relatability and like non-judgment, because I've had that with my ex. Like I would tell these things and then later have them used against me, and you know what I mean? And it's so funny too with Whitney, because I could tell her we've said some sick stuff to each other.
We 10-step with each other.
Yeah,
her sponsor said, "You don't call you know like you aren't."
I don't
like,
call her all the time.
Yeah, so she's like, "Are you 10-stepping with a like?"
She's like,
"Yeah."
She's like, "You 10-step with Whitney." I was like, every single day, all day long.
Yeah. So.
And it's like an accountability too, because we also like I love Whitney to death, but we call each other out. Like we're like, we did that right before you walked in. We're like, we're sick. Because that's great. Like, okay, I have 14 months in. I'm still sick. I am still like healing, and I still have these defects of character, and I still default to these terrible behaviors. I mean, they're not terrible like they used to be, but they bother me now because I have learned a different way, and I want to live a different way. And then when I do those things, it makes me feel sick. Like it makes me feel physically sick, emotionally sick. And so we haven't seen each other in 3 days, which is really weird for us. We are
to speak
together.
of, we really actually have, but just not
Have we?
spent. time together.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in passing, it doesn't. It's
Right,
not
What,
the same.
passing like at a meeting?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, yeah, we talked.
We talked, but I
Yeah,
have
we-
not seen her. I've not held her.
Yeah, right. You haven't held
We
me.
haven't danced.
When I saw Mark at the candlelight the other night, he's like, "Where's Hannah?" I was like, "We aren't always together."
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you were trying to talk to me, show me something. And I had like 3 other people try to talk to me. You're
I
like,
know, Mark, I
you're
was
just
like-
not here. You're.
I was like, "I'm obviously the most riveting person around. What
Yeah.
are you
It's
doing?
all about
Trying to
me.
talk to?"
I was like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
My head was.
No,
off
I
in
was
La La
really just
Land.
trying to talk to him about an episode of Seinfeld. So I wasn't very riveting at all. I'm like,
I'm trying to process one person in this here inside.
Seinfeld.
Look, at almost 2 years, my brain doesn't work that good still.
Yeah, no, it's serious. Like we're still like healing, and we still do stupid
Yeah.
stuff or default to old behaviors, and like we call each other out for it. But at the same time, we don't make each other feel bad because we understand. Because I'm doing it. I'm like, yeah, like,
Default to old
I've been
behaviors,
there.
which means if I'm doing them now, they're present behaviors. But
Yeah.
we'll just blow right past that.
It's not old behavior.
That's
we
why,
still do.
that's why she's my friend.
Now, I saw you. I had the honor and the privilege of seeing you speak at a meeting with, and Hannah, you showed up. Mm-hmm. And so, what was that like to have? By the way, what you lit it up that meeting.
yeah,
That was a
she did.
very
She
powerful
killed it.
share. It was incredible. But how did it feel to you to have your best friend there?
It was great, and it was Valentine's Day,
It was.
and it
It
was
was,
so
wasn't it?
lovely. It was such a sweet thing. Also, it was really lovely when she shared afterwards because she
Cried.
broke down, and it was
You
so
were crying.
I
That's
was
right.
crying. Yeah,
It was the
Because
sweetest thing.
she's so like, you know, when they say like surround yourself with people that like make you want to be better and do better.
People with quality.
I have for so long surrounded myself with people that were like co-signing my BS and
Yeah.
like doing the same things I was doing, and like the strength this girl gives me and like how strong she is and powerful and just like beautiful. And I just was sitting there listening to her story, and I've heard it, right? And I'm like weeping at this thing out of pure like just love. It was just pure love. Like I wanted to say like being proud, but it was just love. Like I love her so much. It is incredible. And I did, like, after I shared, and I like was like, I'm honored to be your friend and like know you, and like I'm crying, but it was like the most beautiful because she like
It was powerful.
I was scared for her. And like we go into detox every Tuesday, which is funny that you asked like where's Hannah, because that's how people go into detox and they get out and they see us together at meetings, and I think people don't think like we survive or exist without each other. But like, man, the love I have for you. Sorry, I'm looking at Whitney right now. The love I have for you, and just like the inspiration that you give me every single day, it's incredible. And you make me want to be better. You make me want to keep trying to do this, right? Like, and even when I have my rough days, like you don't put me down for that, and you like lift me up, and you tell me it's okay even if it's not. And it really is like, it's the most beautiful thing, and I just feel safe and like happy and like I know like and reliable, like I know you're there and like supported. And that's like an amazing thing, because I think for so long we try to do this on self-sufficiency, you know, and it really is. I tried so long just to be by myself. Her and I also, another weird thing we talk about are lone wolves.
I was gonna say that
Lone
2
wolves.
seconds ago, because I was gonna say that people kind of go like, "Oh, where's Hannah?" Where's it? I was
was
always
never
like
that.
alone. Yeah, I was
Same.
always a soul.
by myself.
Yeah,
I was trying to
prided myself on that. Like,
I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone, you know. I don't need that support. When I lost those friends, I was like, I don't need them. Like I can do this.
and I never clicked up. Like when I was in recovery, like I would have like some individual connections, but I just, well, that's maybe not necessarily true, but I just didn't really like. I didn't like the pack mentality. I was like, I'm a strong
I'm an individual.
lone wolf. Yeah.
Oh, you're like the Rosie the Riveter over there. Like,
right
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Right
it
in
right
front of your
there.
face.
Yeah,
Actually,
we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But so,
It's-
yeah. So we've been. It's funny. Like and that independence, and maybe that independence gets you roped off around these parts.
Yeah.
So it's just it's really nice. It's really really nice, and you know, I've really. I'm skeptical about some of these things. I actually have been around for quite a while. Like, and I've been, over the last 18 years, I've been sober much longer than I've been not sober, but I've had some relapses. But so, I'm very familiar with the rooms and recovery. And, you know, I'm not criticizing what works for anybody else, but like sponsorship, families can get, for me, they could get kind of cliquey, like, and like hierarchical and you know, like, or really they can get, I don't know. I've seen ego like come out of those structures, and it's just, I never did like the super clique that like traveled around together. I saw that sometimes a lot more when I was over on the other side of the tracks, actually, like these click ups. And it was like really, it sometimes became like toxic. I'm much more like, I don't like the idea of like that, but I really like the idea of a network, which for me means not plugging myself into something ready-made, like a already made clique of people, but just finding individual authentic connections wherever they are. So if like, and that way it's like much more organic to who I am. Like, so if I like this person over here, this person, I'm not plugging myself into something ready made, because then, I mean, who's to say that I'm going to have real connection with those people? Then I might be trying to morph myself when I'm trying to find myself, trying to morph myself into also what's going on over there. So I really like, that's how I kind of go about this thing, is like, is just getting individual connections, and then that becomes my network. And it really has, it's just been it's been really so nice, because this is where it started too.
That's what I was just gonna say.
This is my first connection.
It's so funny because it's not that we're each other's only friends. Okay.
Yeah.
We have other
People
friends.
also, by the way, when she was looking at me starry-eyed and we were like doing that,
there was that vibe from that first meeting.
I know you were pushed out of the room almost, weren't you? But people do think we're in love.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times people ask if we're dating.
but it's good. You know, it's good that you guys have other friends, but it's good that you're best friends.
Yeah,
like that's rare to find, like a true best friend. And
when you're 42, it's really weird to find. Like, I think actually Jerry Seinfeld has had like a bit about that, like who becomes like really, like who makes like a new best friend, and
like with friendship bracelets and everything.
Oh yeah, I got his friendship.
You get friendship bracelets.
I am 42 years old and I got his friendship bracelets. But I'm still trying to be edgy because they have handcuffs on them.
They have handcuffs, but they say freedom.
So
on it, which is nice. Yeah, but no, we
have
like
that.
That's cool.
We have other connections, and it's nice because it's made me open to trusting others and having other connections. And then we also find the people that we connect with on our own individually, and then we'll like go to a meeting together, and it's the same people.
It's always the same. It's the same.
I saw this girl and she was really cool, and I'll say who she is, and when he's like, oh my gosh, I love her. Like, she's like, and then we're like,
I was just messaging.
Yeah, I was just messaging her yesterday, and I was like, how weird is that? So it's opened the door for those other connections, which is really nice. And I think like a big part too is isolation. Like that was a big part of my drinking, right? Is like I would isolate.
Oh boy.
One of my biggest fears was abandonment, right? So like opening up and trusting someone else, and someone who can pull me out of that, because I'll isolate and she'll call me and she'll be like, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong. Like, I haven't talked to you. I feel it. Like, I feel something's off with you.
Yeah, I have my psychic, my psychic friends network abilities come in. I know I'm turning to Miss Cleo with this one. I'm like,
calling me now.
I know. I know it's the children. She does. Is that a good accent? I think I was like pretty off, but yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. But what were you saying?
That they.
Oh, the isolation.
I thought you were psychic, Miss Cleo.
I'm psychic. I'm psychic, but with a little. I've really done some damage. The isolation.
Isolation.
The
Yes.
isolation. I really, honestly, like, I still hear some people at meetings go like, "Oh, my partying." I'm like, partying. That was like
by myself.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what partying was like. You know.
Well, I heard a speaker one time break it down. He's like, it's not the big book, but it started out as fun,
Right.
Then fun with problems, and then it was just problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, but I mean, it really got dark and totally alone.
So
like,
alone.
in dark corners and everything. And so that was really where it was. And it became I did it for so long, and that was just muscle memory. All alone in literal, like, most of the time in darkness, corners.
Yep.
That like, it's hard
Just
to come
hiding.
out of it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
hiding.
To not hide. I can be, and what's interesting is, like, I had this therapist once. He was a real windbag, but he did say, he goes, "You are a high functioning introvert."
I thought you were just gonna say that because we talk about that all the time. People
Yeah.
meet us and they're like, "You guys are so extroverted."
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. But, like, really, like,
Yeah.
the mask of me was extroverted. Could I talk to people all day long? I could talk to people. I was in sales. I could talk. But, like, me, who I am at my core, nobody got to see that.
Right. And I mean, I recharge. I like to be exuberant
yeah.
and social, but I recharge by myself. Like, I need that space of just going into my, being quiet, and, like, I was raised an only child. Like, I need to kind of, so in that way, like, I'm not as boisterous all the time as, like, I think one would assume. And so it's just, it's nice. Isn't it nice to be understood, darling?
Yeah. Well, it's funny, even with the recharging, like, now a lot of times I recharge, like, when we get together, there's sometimes, like, literally she'll come over here, she'll nap here on the couch, I'll go nap in the room. Like, that's, like, another great thing. Like, it's like, we get it. It's not like I have to put on this big, like, I'm a host and I have to, like, tend to her, and, like, she's like, dude, go lay down.
Well, you just had surgery too, didn't you? Whit?
I did, and this was another great thing. See, so my mother's in town, lovely, adorable mother. She's in her 70s. She's in not the best health, and I knew she couldn't be there as my person. I was under 3 hours of anesthesia, and I had a surgery on my neck. And I knew exactly who I was going to have as my person to be there and to take me home and to do all of the things and to help me recover,
Yeah.
And Hannah was there, and Hannah took off work, and it was like, and it was so nice. And it was so nice that, like, and it's really cool because, that I'm going to just say it, like, that I just have a friend to be that person today, and that I'm not asking a significant other. I just used air quotes because I'm not going to break up with you anytime soon.
Appreciate that.
You're forever. Yeah. You're forever, friend. You're like a forever rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it though too. Like, I had do the sick thing, like changing her.
No, don't do
bag.
that.
And I loved it though. I love like take care. She like came here and I was like tucking her in the blanket, and I'm like, here, what do you need? Put some pillows behind you. And you know the best part?
Aw.
The best part is there was a few of us there at the hospital, and when she woke up out of anesthesia, it was me that she
I
asked
know.
for. Like, you want to
Isn't
talk
that
about
cute?
some
I
ego
love
right
it.
there? I like was sitting there with other people, and other people got up and they were like, no. She asked for Hannah. And I was like, oh, me?
Wait, was she talking weird stuff under anesthesia?
Oh no. She
No?
was a perfect princess.
I was a perfect princess, much like my regular persona, perfect princess, right?
She is.
Now, knowing like, let me, knowing that you're just getting, clean again. You said 6 months. Did that scare you going in for surgery?
Well, I knew I wasn't gonna take on any pain meds, so I was not prepared for how much the anesthesia itself was going to whack me out for 2 weeks, and the recovery itself just exhausted me. And any other real surgery I've been on, I have absolutely used and
Insisted.
abused the
Yeah.
opportunity to be on pain meds. So I've been zoned out. And just to be present for how crappy I felt sucked. It didn't scare me. I knew that the pain was going to be relatively minimal to all I've caused myself emotionally and physically through all of my drinking and using and crazy stuff I've done to myself. But this is what the biggest 2x4 on the back of the head is I'm 42 now, and I was the bounce back kid. I've been hospitalized 2 different times for 3 months at a time for stupid stuff I've done to myself through stuff that I've done through abusing myself, and I've had so many hospital stays, so many health things, and I would always just bounce right back. And this I was like, I just was dragging, and I'm realizing it's just not like it used to be.
Yeah.
And this time coming back, honestly, it was really difficult. The not being able to find or feel God for months, and just doing everything and anything because I knew it was like that's the juice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was going nuts, I was going nuts. I had no relief. I had no place to go. I was praying, but I felt like I was praying to a ceiling that was like right over my head. It was not there was no channel. And
which I felt,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When she was at that candlelight meeting, because I had been there, the same thing. I had
Yeah.
searched and like wanted that same thing. And I had just started getting that. Like I started really feeling God and really like getting that relief, and that like my spiritual condition was really getting better. And when I saw her walk in that meeting, and that's what she shared before I whispered creepily into her ear, she shared that. She was like, I'm looking and I like am trying to do something different because I'm at the spiritual. I can't remember how she said it. I just remember her hands being like, I'm at the spiritual like turning point and I like need something. I'm there. And I was behind her and I was like, come here. Like, you'll get it. You'll get it, because I knew exactly what she was talking about, because I had sat there seeking and wanting that same thing, and I had just started feeling it and just started getting it, and I had felt so much better, and I was like, there's a reason why she's at this meeting, I'm at this meeting, and like it's like a God thing. It was really like, we talk about that all the time, like it was God for sure.
Is it odd or is it God? And it sounds like God.
Oh, it was God all the way.
Now, when did you finally feel like find God?
Oh, it cracked wide open. It's a really weird story. Okay,
no, let's hear it. Let it rip.
Okay, this is quite the story, because I was going absolutely nuts, and I was also I've had I, throughout the years, have had some really good sponsors, a few bad ones too. But I've had, they've done a wonderful job, and I've had amazing experiences. But like, I knew what I really wanted and needed this time around. I knew it was like, I call it like I needed the fourth dimension juice, right? So I'm like going to every meeting in Sarasota under the sun, hundreds of people. And I'm like, and what I call it is the Predator scan, like from the 80s movie, like, and I'm like, nope. I asked a few women or like felt them out, and they like either weren't sponsoring or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I'm seeking a sponsor. I'm seeking God. And then I was going to a noon meeting. I mean, I'm banging my head against a wall, going to so many meetings. And then this one day, and I'm not accrediting it to this particular place or the ceremony, but I was going everywhere. I was doing everything, but I my car, like, literally, like, I was like that Buddhist temple on 301. I was like, maybe I'll just go there instead of this meeting. And so I did, and I walked in, and they were having their noon deal, and she did a really elementary, like, introduction, and I kind of judged it, to be quite honest. I was like, this is like Buddhism for preschoolers. Okay. Me being like an idiot, an asshole. And then she went into meditation, and I swear to God, I've meditated a lot in my life. I closed my eyes, and some weird, it almost felt psychedelic. Like some weird stuff happened. And like, I heard like after a few minutes, I heard like a crack in my skull. It wasn't from the outside. And like, I felt like, whatever that pent up black feeling in my chest was, like, crack wide open and like open up. And I just started weeping. Like, tears just started coming down my face, and I could breathe. Like, I could breathe the breath, into my gut. And, it wasn't like an aha, like, God is here moment. Mm-hmm. I could barely walk out of that place. And I went home that night, and my brain was so messed up. It was like I had been hit in the head. I was just, my stepdaughter's like asking me to make pasta, and she'd just come back out, and I'm staring at the wall like a weirdo. And, but then I woke up the next morning, and I was like, wow, here we go. Mm-hmm. And then, but that night, which was even weirder, an ex-boyfriend called me, and he said, he calls me like twice a year, and he's usually just a mess. He's just a wacko, but he's great. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And I told him I had been really struggling in recovery to find meaning and God. And he said, hey, do you need a sponsor? And I said, yeah, I do, actually. And he goes, do you want mine? And I knew right then it was the right fit. I didn't even know anything about his sponsor, but then he goes on to tell me he's a half Cambodian, half Colombian gay man who's married to a priest who lives in a church in Chicago. And I'm like, okay, that fits the bill. I think that'll, and then I talked to him like, then he's like, he'll call you in 15 minutes. I said, shouldn't we ask him? He goes, no, he will. He called me in 15 minutes. We talked for like an hour. It's perfect. So,
wow.
And he's been amazing. Mm-hmm. He's been really something else. He's beyond. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like a total God shot.
Yeah. His name's, and his name is Brave. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. His God-given name is Brave, or his birth name is Brave.
Really?
Yeah. His name is Brave. So I was like, this is insane. Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful story, right?
It is. It's beautiful.
So, and then I realized he's in meetings, and he goes, I'm brave. I'm brave and I'm an alcoholic. I'm brave. I wish I could say I was brave. Sometimes
brave.
I am.
You are brave.
So how do you feel now that you've got a sponsor, now that you've got a best friend, now that you've got the fellowship? Like, how do you feel?
Now that I have a friend in the world, I feel great. I do feel great. I've made some, Mark, I've made some questionable life choices recently. But you know what? Haven't drank over them, and everything is, I'm learning, right? And I always pray in the morning to be better than I was the day before, right?
It's beautiful.
Right? So but I've gone like, oh shit. And right, like we said, if it's not old behavior.
It's so funny too when you say questionable life choices.
Questionable.
Because this is the truth though. These life choices compared to previous life choices are like nothing.
Right, they are.
They affect us strong now, right? That we feel very strong about them, or we feel very bad, or have like emotional hangovers because now we're trying to do better and to be better. But it's funny because like sometimes I really beat myself up for like things that I do or I say, then I'm like, man, if I like really think about it, like when they say give yourself a break, like it's
all relative, but also that has let me off the hook in the past until I like hang myself. So we've got but I feel fantastic. And I feel like I'm in the stream of life. I do feel like I most of the time help God's children. Most of the time I help more than harm, and I'm full of love. I'm full of love, and I try to give it. And life is good. Life is really, I can just and I like myself today. That's one thing I realized the other day. I was like, damn, I am good in my own skin.
Isn't that a weird feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I can meet anybody and meet them eye to eye and feel okay and have a conversation and
beautiful.
And yeah.
Well, you're certainly helping today, ladies, and especially kicking off this relationship series. It's good because good, solid friendship is just good in life, and it's good to hear, and it's good to hear two best friends sitting down, laughing, talking, coming in, coffee's there. I come in, you guys are just out there on the porch, just chit chatting or whatever it is. Were you reading the big book?
We were reading the big book. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We need to get right.
So, what are both of you grateful for today?
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I'm grateful for Hannah. I'm grateful for Mike. Okay. No, but really, I'm grateful for grace. I mean, the great idea that like I've gotten so many chances to so many do-overs, right? That I mean, they've all been learning, but I want to like kill it. This time I want to kill it. I want to get this shit right.
That's good.
Right. Like not like perfect, but
I think that's what we related to too, right? Like where it says half measures avail us nothing. Like we were the queens of that previously, or at least I was, right? Like picking and choosing which steps I wanted to do, picking and choosing which suggestions I listened to, thinking I knew what to do all the time. My will, my way, you know what I mean? That's how it was. And I'm grateful that it's not that way today, that I know nothing. We say that to each other all the time.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I know that at the end of the day, I realize
know nothing.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
I think I shared that at one point in a meeting you were in. Yeah. I get that 6 and 7 made me realize the most freeing thing. I got nothing. Stupid. Yep. This know-it-all got stupid. Hallelujah. Yeah.
It's made all so great
that I don't have to know anything today.
But then it makes you open to learning and like that honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Like, man, I never had any of those things. Yeah. And I have those. And I'm grateful, honestly, that like I feel understood. I'm grateful that I'm not alone. I'm grateful that like I have love in my life and happiness, like in that freedom in all aspects.
Yeah.
And then now we are the weirdos walking into Walmart.
Holding hands,
that
skipping.
Holding hands and skipping. No, we do. And dance.
But we really like
And
we
dance.
need it really needs to be 3 so we can swing. So Mark.
Oh, I'm too big to swing. Like,
Oh, no. We'll swing Whitney. She's the smallest.
I don't know. I just would like to try. We'll try to swing Mark. You just drag his ass. Let go or get dragged.
Yeah.
I'll let go because I know my ass is getting dragged.
Yeah.
So, so before we close this out, the newcomer. Do you guys have anything you'd like to say to the
Oh my
newcomer who
gosh.
might be listening to this?
Man, and I think I shared this the last time, the biggest thing that I would hear and I wouldn't really hear or believe is that there's hope. Like, there's hope to not, like, the thing we started relating on is this misery and this darkness and this loneliness.
Yeah.
And, like, there is hope out there for love, and there's hope for self-love. Because that's another thing, right, that I'm grateful for today, and that you just touched on, Whitney. Like, I never had self-love, and I do. And, like, working this program, following it, the way it's laid out, like, the love that you're going to find in others, in yourself, and be able to give back, it's so worth it. It just hang in there, because it is so, so worth it.
Right. I think that that's pretty much it. Like, just there, pray for the right person and then drop yourself into their arms. Let yourself be carried for a while. And work on the trust and the listening. Yeah. It'll be okay.
It will be amazing.
We are not a glum lot.
Stay. And you'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That is, don't pay attention to the movies where everyone looks super depressed in a gross, dingy basement.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have a great time. We have a great time.
And that's the one thing I noticed before. And that's the one thing I noticed. Like meetings aren't like how they're portrayed.
No,
like
I
all
say
kumbaya in a
She
circle.
cannot stand
Yeah.
movie portrayals of meetings.
There's a show I started watching on Netflix. It's called like Louder Milk or something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, meetings aren't like that.
Yeah, or at the podium being like always at a podium being like really really weird, and it's like like they can and it's always like like a drunkalogue and
War stories.
and it's a great time. It's a great time.
And like the life you can have. I mean, we will drive in the car and be like, wow.
yeah,
Like, we would sometimes just look at each other and be like, wow, this is our life.
right,
This
right.
is pretty, it's something I would never have imagined.
I really had to own. I really like became and owned like this dark persona after a long time, like because that's what it was, and certainly that's still there. I enjoy that part, but like yeah, I am okay today. To admit that I jam out in the car to Justin Bieber
100%. And I sure.
with Hannah.
Yep.
Justin
100%.
Bieber and right
At 6:30 in
at
the
6:30
morning.
in the morning.
That's gangster.
6:30.
Oh, like early Justin Bieber
Yeah.
too, with the
like-
swoosh
With the
hair,
Like Baby
bowl
Baby?
hair. Oh, Believers all the way.
Usher and yeah,
Yeah.
Usher and Bieber.
Neo.
I'm okay in myself today.
Yeah.
Okay enough in myself today.
So Justin Bieber, early Justin Bieber is your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, this is a girl that like 9 Inch Nails, like 13 years old.
Yeah.
Only that was it. And now I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Is that how you say
Yep,
it?
a believer. Yeah.
I'm still.
Did you get her into Justin Bieber?
No,
Hannah?
no,
I
it's
just
been a
happened
thing for a
to
long
put-
time, but I'm
I
just
keep
coming out.
happening to put on
It's my
these
coming
weird
out.
songs, and her and I just start jamming to it. But like good, like Neo, like some old like early 2000s just dance music.
So is that your guilty pleasure, Hannah? Is early 2000s?
Oh man, my guilty
Who's
pleasure is
it?
all
everyone's.
genres. We go
Mark,
all
don't
around.
lie.
No,
Yeah,
listen,
we know.
here's mine. Here's
Okay,
mine.
I have a Tupac shirt on right now, guys. So like, don't even get me started on
But
guilty
underneath
pleasures.
Tupac
it
shirt.
is a
Justin Bieber.
So here's mine. Like, okay, Michael McDonald.
Oh, well, he's great. Come on.
He is. I mean, look, he holds a sacred place. Hall & Oates.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
These are
and anything classified as yacht rock.
yacht rock. Well, those are
Like,
kind
yeah,
of yacht
like Mellow
rock.
Gold, like
They're
Player Baby
great.
Come Back, like yeah.
I just
some Chuck
pictured Mark
Mangione.
with like
I think
feathered
that's
hair,
less
like amazing
embarrassing
feathered
to admit
hair.
though than Justin Bieber, Mark.
Yeah,
You know,
Justin
I'm not
Bieber's
a-
a little embarrassing.
I'm not a believer.
You should be.
I should.
You're missing out.
yeah.
You're missing
Okay.
out. Did you ever listen to that NSYNC song I sent you?
Yes, I
You
did.
sing?
Yes. Listen, I'm down with
This
some
is descended
JT.
into
Yeah.
madness. We need
Yeah,
to
look,
clean
we're
this
gonna
up.
close this thing out.
Yeah.
You know who else is my guilty pleasure? The Recovery Band.
100%.
Yeah, oh, it's. You should feel guilty about this one. This was wonderful. Thank you, Mark.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And studio audience. And thank you so much, ladies.
Did we do it? Was it
can't.
okay?
It was good. Goodbye, everyone, and be well.